win the World Cup of 2007. Australia are the World Cup champions of 1999.
What a victory for the Sri Lankans. A fantastic effort.
Here's the man who's been largely responsible for it over the last.
That is Australia's joy and England.
Hello to all of you and another exciting episode of Match Point. In the Match Point, as usual, we will progress towards the headlines, but the biggest news of this Match Point now, the fresh headlines that the Pakistan has been beaten convincingly by the South Africa in the ODI series, wherever the neighbors, the Indian team has beaten New Zealand in their home in a away series in the New Zealand in the one-sided matches. Team India beat New Zealand to prove that they are best in this format, and West Indies have plunged back into the life while beating England in the first test in Bridgetown, Barbados, and just reviving the memories of 1980 and 1970. So officially the headlines first of all. So the first headline apart of these wins and the victories is regarding the next World Cup T20. India and Pakistan are placed in the two different groups in the men's T20 World Cup 2020, and this will be the first ever time in the 9 years time when Pakistan and India will not face each other in the World Cup stage. And there is no possibility of India-Pakistan match before the knockout game. If the knockout game exists and both the neighbors go ahead, and then it would have been a chance of an India-Pakistan clash. Otherwise, there is no chance of India versus Pakistan. And usually there is a question that a lot of people are thinking that nowadays advertiser is never gonna away from this match. They want to grab this match. What was the reason that Pakistan and India were not kept into the one pool? Because of number 1 and number 2. Number 1 and number 2 team, they are the world best team. The Pakistan Shaheens and Men in Blue are the second best team of the world. Number 1 and number 2 cannot coexist in the one pool. So this is the main sole reason of the myth behind the neighbors, putting the neighbors into the two different groups. Pakistan will play their first game versus traditional rivals a part of the India, Australia, Aussies, and Pakistan will be in a chance to beat them as they have beaten them in the World Cup game. But whenever it comes to the knockout stages, Pakistan has never beaten Australia in a World Cup game in the knockout stage. 24th of October, Pakistan will play against Aussies in their home, Sydney. Since 2008, now it's the time for the Grand Slam to remember. And which Grand Slam? This is the Grand Slam Australian Open. Australian Open men's results have been declared, and Novak Djokovic has once again lifted the title with a pride. So as I was telling you that since 2008 now, the Djokovic titles or the overall titles which the men have grabbed in the tennis circuit, he has grabbed most of all over the world, whether it is a French Open, whether it is a Wimbledon, or whether it is an Australian Open. Novak Djokovic has lifted now. This was the 15th title for him, and beating the arch rivals in this passion, Rafael Nadal, Rafa who is having a record of the 14 Grand Slams since this date, what I told you, and he is the second best after Djokovic, and at the third, of course, Roger Federer, but he is not in the double figures with the 8, Andy Murray with 3, and John Martin with a 1 Grand Slam. And now the next news is, again I will jump back to the cricket field, and cricket field when we will discuss about Team Pakistan. The major headline, as we predicted in the last show, Pakistan skipper Sarfraz Ahmed has been banned from the international cricket for the 4 matches. He has been put into the ban after the fiasco of what happened. All of you are knowing in the third ODI against South Africa, when Philokwayo and Sarfraz, they were involved in world debate. Not the Philokwayo, but Sarfraz, in the mumbling words, cost him a match. And in nowadays, showing once again that in this global world where there is a mini village, this is a global world, and world has got smaller and smaller because of the multimedia. We need to be very careful while picking up the words, whatever the cause, whatever the stage, and whatever the location it is, needed to be very careful. And Pakistan team also needed and also in a need to educate themselves regarding this, that what comes in racism and what not comes in the racism. Sarfraz Ahmed now officially banned for the 4 matches by the ICC due to the racial comments, and he will miss the 2 ODIs and 2 T20s. He will be the part of the last T20. Till then, who will be the skipper? This is also in the headlines. Hashim Amla, and the greats, one of the greats from the South Africa, what he says, he reminds the oldies goldie days against Pakistan when he was at the peak, and he says that he was most afraid of the Pakistani fast bowlers, and the one who was toughest of all, what he faced in his career while back in those days when Pakistan's bowling was in full swing, he was Mohammad Asif. He was saying, Hashim Amla said that with the same fingers and with the same style, I never knew when the ball will be nipping in and when it will be coming out. With the same grip, he was moving the ball towards the both sides. He was one of the dangerous bowlers in those era when he was at the peak and he was facing the fast bowler. And then he told that he played against Asif and brilliantly he bowled against him, and he was a magician. And in the 2007, in the same way, he was landing the ball wherever the ground is in Pakistan or the ground is in the South Africa. Next news is regarding the Pakistan Super League, something to cheer about the Pakistan Super League. Lot of fans and the hungry fans who are hungry for the cricket and seeing the cricket, the World 11 coming to the Pakistan, West Indian team coming to the Pakistan, Zimbabwean team earlier toured 2 years back to the Pakistan, and now some more matches have been given in the Pakistan Super League. But now what Fawad Chaudhry says, Fawad Chaudhry and the Ministry of Information, the Interior Ministry, he says that now it's a plan that the next Pakistan Super League, PSL 2020, when it will be a launch of 2020, all the matches will be played in Pakistan. Dubai, Abu Dhabi and Sharjah will be deprived of this prestigious league, which we say Pakistan Super League, because all the PSL matches will be shifted in 2020 in Pakistan in the different grounds. But obviously the major grounds who will be hosting the matches will be the Rawalpindi Stadium, National Stadium Karachi, and of course the Gaddafi Stadium Lahore, the venue of the first T20, the first PSL second PSL Grand Finale, and the venue of the 1996 World Cup Grand Finale. And when we are talking about the Pakistan Super League, another sad news is in the headline that the Kala Khan, one of the constructor hired by the company, one of the contractors who was working in the National Stadium Karachi in the renovation of the stadium for the Pakistan Super League in the Super 4 rounds, and when he was working on the Majid Khan enclosure, he fell from a roof and he was taken to the hospital where he couldn't survive. God may rest his soul in the peace. and this is what life is, so unpredictable. Anyhow, but what he was doing for the cricket and what he was doing for his occupation, we just present our sincere condolences from the Match Point team to his grieved family. The next headline is also regarding somehow to the Pakistan Super League, but that is for the Sharjeel Khan. Sharjeel Khan, one of the tainted cricketers along with the other cricketers in the PSL season 1, when after the season 1, when they were blamed in the second season for the match fixing, he was continuously denying the accusations against him, but finally now it has been proved and he has also confessed all the wrongdoings which he was doing in the Pakistan Super League along with the others, and in front of the anti-corruption tribunal of the PCB, he has filed an application with the PCB chairman to allow him to play the domestic cricket before his ban expires at the end of the August this year. Pakistan Cricket Board have announced the 15-member squad for the T20 International. Hussain Talat will be back in the team, Shoaib Malik is back, and Hafiz is also back in the team, but currently the news is in that Hafiz is not playing the first T20 because of the injury, and the second T20 will come. Hafiz will be joining the team Pakistan. And the last headline before going to the break is that in the absence of Sarfaraz Ahmed, the captaincy will be handed over to the evergreen Pakistan's Shoaib Malik, the most T20 played from the Pakistan, the most runs scored by the Pakistani, the 2000 runs scored by the Pakistani. The Shoaib Malik will be handling once again like the World T20, which he is used to lead Pakistan team in this very limited format. He will be once again holding the reins of the Pakistan team in the current T20 this game against South Africa. So lot of more, and we will discuss of course the Pakistan versus South Africa, the ODIs, the South Africa supremacy, and we will discuss the India versus New Zealand Indian win, and of course the shocker from the New Zealand to the Indian team to get themselves out at the 70s. So we will discuss this, and of course the Jason Holder heroics will be a part of my Match Point. You are watching Match Point. You can follow me on the Facebook page and on the YouTube with the same name, Greatest Empire USA. Keep following, keep watching Match Point. I will be right back. Welcome back to the Match Point. So in the headline, as I told you, the first headline regarding the World Cup T20 where the arch rivals we will not be seeing. So the last time when both of them met in the ICC event, so it will be the 2011 World Cup. This will be the first time since 2011 that there won't be the India versus Pakistan match in the group stage of the ICC event. 2015 World Cup, India and Pakistan met in the group stage, but the 2011 was the last time when they never saw each other. But then fortunately they saw each other, but in the knockout game, and that is the highest level where Pakistan and India met in the 50-over game. I mean in the World Cup game, where that was the semi-final, where Pakistan was outclassed by the Team India to win that precious game, and ultimately Team India winning the World Cup with a Dhoni's signature 6 at the end of that World Cup. So once again, Pakistan and India will not see each other. So a lot of disappointment for the fans. Pakistan and India might be able to see each other in the knockout stage if both proceed forward, just like as we were expecting in the 2007 World Cup. But unfortunately, both were dismissed by the minnows, one by the Bangladesh and one by the Ireland. So we don't want to, fans are not expecting and hoping for these results, but obviously we are looking forward for the knockout game. Pakistan is the number 1 T20 ranked team and India is the number 2 ranked team. So that's why they have been placed in the different groups. So there will be the 12 groups in this T20, and you can see over visual and graphics where you are seeing and that how the things will progress when they will reach to the World Cup qualifiers and the preliminary round, how it will be played. And there is a short video we want to show you that how the T20 World Cup is gonna happen. So you would have been seeing the video and these were all the details. Anyhow, I may remind you that the Pakistan matches in the Men's T20 World Cup 2020 will be October 24. It will be the opener against the Australia in their home ground at the Sydney SCG, Sydney Cricket Ground. Pakistan will be playing, and then versus the A1 team he will be playing. Pakistan will be playing on the 29th of October, and then 31st of October Pakistan will be playing and the Brisbane Gabba versus New Zealand on the first pitch, and then on the November 3rd Pakistan will be playing against Windies on the Adelaide Oval, where the tricky ground will try to trick against the Pakistan, but Pakistan will have to survive. Pakistan's track record on this very ground is very bad. Adelaide Oval, where Pakistan have played 14 games and 12 times Pakistan lost on this ground. 2 times only Pakistan was able to win the game in the era of great Imran Khan, and the Pakistan's Prime Minister made those wins possible for Pakistan back in the 80s. And on the November 6th, finally, the B2 group team will be playing against Pakistan in Melbourne MCG, where Pakistan is having a track record of 92% win rate, including the grand finale of the 1992 World Cup against the one of the best teams, English team, Ian Botham and Graham Gooch teams at that time of 1992. Jason Holder, the West Indian Hall of Fame, who is currently playing, has moved to the #1 ranking in the ICC Test rankings of the all-rounder. Wow, take a bow for him after his stunning performance in the Bridgetown, Barbados, which was said to be once the paradise of the fast bowlers, but he made everything possible, and especially coming at number 8. Holder scored his maiden double century 100 and also picked 2 wickets in that match, earning him jump 2 spots to the top of the all-rounder chart, and now from the number 3 he has got the number 1. Next to discuss, of course, as I told you in the headlines, we will jump quickly towards the Pakistan versus South Africa. Pakistan versus South Africa. South Africa again outclassed Pakistan in all the departments. And I was telling you in the last program that let's pray for the Pakistan fans that Pakistan may not go to the 2-2. Pakistan may go to the 3-1, or Pakistan may go to the 4-1, because whenever the Pakistan goes to the series decider, it has been decided since 2002, Pakistan has won only 2 times out of 16 times when the things go to the series decider, and Pakistan eventually losing even in Sharjah, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, wherever is the ground. On the series decider, Pakistan's last track record is very bad, and the same thing happened. Anyhow, Pakistan came in the match with only 1 win in 9 ODIs in Johannesburg. When the 4th match was played, Pakistan was 1-2 down the South Africa, and Pakistan need to survive in this series, having a must win at the Johannesburg. About Johannesburg, I want to tell you about something, that this is the South Africa's favorite ground. South Africa is undefeated and was undefeated at this very ground from the last 7 games, consecutive games. South Africa has outclassed their opponents. Whether the opponent is India, whether the opponents were Australia or New Zealand, one of the best in that region, they were outclassed by South Africa, especially in the Johannesburg, and more especially superimposed when they are in the pink outfit. In the pink outfit, South Africa, the killer factor it could have been that South Africa never lost a match in the pink dress. Whenever they have a pink ODI, their success rate is 100%, 100%. So Shoaib Malik was captaining Pakistan in that ODI, and this was happening after 10 years. This is also a unique record in the Pakistan captaincy history. Before that, the great Javed Miandad took the reins in the times of Imran Khan, but that gap was not beyond 10 years. Those was the intermittent gaps, but this is the longest gap when one Pakistan captain took over the captaincy back after 10 years, a decade. First time he was captaining Team Pakistan Men in Green Shaheens after the 20th February 2010, and that was the T20 versus England in Dubai. Against all odds, Pakistan winning the match by 8 wickets, and that was the no doubtly that was the best win, and Pakistan again proving themselves the worth of the tag of unpredictable with Pakistan. Why they say the Team Pakistan unpredictable? This is because of this. Beating South Africa in the pink outfit, not only the pink outfit but also in the Johannesburg, in spite of having Ford du Plessis, Hashim Amla and all the greats, Pakistan has doing the wonders like this. Same thing, if I remind you guys, this was happening back in the World Cup 2015, but when out of blue moon Pakistan will be beaten by the arch rivals, beaten by the poor West Indies team, and then all of a sudden beating South Africa out of blue moon when Sarfraz coming back to the team, and that was the one-man show, and then taking an outstanding catch of AB de Villiers. So always Pakistan team is doing wonders against the Springboks, and this was another wonder in the Johannesburg. And this is the 8th time that South Africa have played the pink day, and first time ever now they have lost. South Africa all out on the 164 in their fortress, the venue where they have not lost ODI. For the last 6 years they are playing on this very ground in the same outfit. Great bowling performance by Pakistan. I must say that South Africa was not outclassed by the Pakistan batting. South Africa was outclassed by the Pakistan strength, that is bowling. South Africa's worst last 5 wicket collapses in the ODI, if I see, that is 5 for 7 versus Pakistan East London 1993 tour, and then 5 for 7 versus Pakistan in Singapore 2000, and now 5 for 8 versus Pakistan in Johannesburg in this match. All three these performances are through the Pakistan bowling. South Africa 119 for 2, and then they were 164 all out after the Shanwari's burst. 8 wickets for 45 runs. In the space of 91 balls have been taken. Usman Khan Shanwari balls, he have put 6 wickets, 4 runs conceded, 0. What a brilliant bowling by the Pakistani star, and proving again the worth of the T20 leagues and the worth of the Big Bash and the BBL. And when Mohammad Amir took the wicket in this Johannesburg match, this was the Mohammad Amir's first wicket in the 7 ODIs, his first wicket in an ODI since 13th July 2018, and he has bowled 275 balls without a wicket in the ODI. This is the longest streak for the Pakistan fast bowler in the recent era. Amir does not have a wicket in the last 6 ODIs, and longest wicket less sequence for the Pakistani bowler in the last 15 years, if I remember. No one has achieved this unwanted feat, which is not a good sign, as Pakistan is months away from the World Cup. Big challenge for the Pakistan in Cape Town in this series, and the series was level 2-2. Last time when they won the series decider, as I was telling you before, in the ODIs against a higher ranked team, that was against Australia, and that was 2002 in the Brisbane Gabba. No team has lost the Cape Town match after scoring 250, and the last match Pakistan was the unlucky team who, even after scoring 250, could not defend the game. And we were expecting from the Pakistan bowling over the years, over the decades, but this is the time we need to improve the strength in the Pakistan bowling, as Pakistan lost after scoring 250 in the Cape Town. This is the first time that someone has lost the ODI since 2001 in the Cape Town after having this much score on this very ground. Incredibly, 15 out of 15 wins before this match, when the first team playing makes 250 in the Cape Town. and this should be the Pakistan's way, but unfortunately Pakistan could not make out the way. Poor cricket from Pakistan, not playing according to the conditions, getting out on the unnecessary shots, and run scoring had become difficult in the Cape Town as the wickets were wearing down, balls was getting old and they were not having the control of the ball. But if you see and if you remember Virat Kohli on this very ground last year when the Team India came back into the form after winning the last test and then winning against South Africa in the shorter format, Virat Kohli took 100 runs by running in between the wickets. Would you believe? He knew that the boundaries are coming difficult, ball is not coming to the bat, and he took 100 runs by running. This is what we say. You should be strong from here, not from here. He's a great sportsman and the toughest sportsman right now and the toughest captain to face in the modern era cricket. And finally, Imamul Haq was named the man of the series with 5 innings, 271 runs, 100, 250s with an average of 54.20. Imad Wasim only batted twice in the series, but the brilliant signs, brilliant all-rounder, 43 of 23 balls with a strike rate of 186.95 and 47 of 31 balls with a strike rate of 151.61. 78 runs conceded by Shadab Khan in the last game against South Africa in the Cape Town is the most ever he has conceded in the ODI. Before he has conceded the maximum, that was 58. That was also the toughest part of Shadab Khan, that he has never faced such weakness in the ODI before this match. Faf du Plessis and Doosan both remained unbeaten on exactly 50 runs, and this is the first ever instance of 2 batsmen unbeaten in the ODI at the 50 and eventually winning the match. So we have to go to the India versus New Zealand and of course England versus West Indies, but there is a time for the short break. When I will come back from the short break, I will resume right from here. So till then, we will take a short break and I will be right back. Welcome back after the break, and we will be jumping quickly towards the India versus New Zealand. And in the New Zealand home series and India's away series, it was all between Kane Williamson versus Virat Kohli, best versus best, because these two were thought to be the most toughest captains right now in the rankings and in the matches. One beating Pakistan in the previous series, and one was all the way beating every other team which is coming on the way, and especially the Tim Paine's team. And now it was 1-1 head-on-head Virat Kohli versus Kane Williamson before the World Cup, and India proven the game, proven the strength that they are the best in the business. 3 games they have played, and Virat boys 3 on 3 on the trot, and 3 games winning the series straight away. And खाना पूरी और रस्में दुनिया थी जो 2 मैच थे, but Kohli has been rested for the last 2 games. Rohit Sharma there to lead the game. The game number 3 also not played by the Mahendra Singh Dhoni because pulling on the leg muscle. And Kohli has been rested, as I told you last time, that Kohli has been rested since now 11 years now. This is the first time when Kohli has been rested, first time in the career, a part of the Zimbabwean tour when he was not on the Zimbabwean tour. Otherwise, Kohli was a part and parcel of the Team India in all the away games. One other man to discuss in these 3 matches would have been Kuldeep Yadav. Kuldeep Yadav, what a brilliant find India is after getting Hardik Pandya. Now Kuldeep Yadav, one of the best men India have got in this format. Kuldeep Yadav, again the pick of the bowlers. Kuldeep in this series, first ODI, would you believe, 4 for 39, and second ODI 4 for 45. And in the third match, when New Zealand started to knowing about Kuldeep, and then it was the turn of the fast bowlers Bhuvi and all other to take New Zealand on the back foot. First ever spinner to take 4+ wickets in the 2 consecutive ODIs in the New Zealand. So this was the bowling to watch from Kuldeep. Extraordinary athlete, taking brilliant catches on his own bowling, and really I have enjoyed watching his game. And then the 4th ODI without the Kohli. This was the first game of Team India after a long time. fourth ODI when they stepped in with the Rohit Sharma in his game number 200, and that was something not good and to cherish about for the Indian fans. But something is happening. I think this was a shock, and this every team is getting the shockers. Team Australia, Kim Hughes' team was getting the shocker against the Zimbabwe in the 1983 World Cup. That was the earliest shocker. And then, if I'm not wrong, 1992, Team England, Graham Gooch England, got a shocker from the Zimbabwe. But those were the weaker teams. But this is not that weak team. 2007, Pakistan got the shocker from Ireland, and in the 1999 World Cup, Pakistan getting a shocker from Bangladesh. But this is New Zealand, not the ordinary team, the highest ranked team. And but the Team India, we were not expecting. What we were not expecting, that the Team India, who is having a potential of score even on the air, on the sand, on the pebbles, Team India could not make and could not get to the triple figures. And this was the shocker what we saw in the fourth ODI. Practice game for them, although Sharma captaining them, and a special 200. Rohit Sharma was taking the field for the 200th time in the ODI in the Hamilton, and India got all out on the 92. India ball out for a subtotal of 100 in the ODIs for the first time since August 2010. A lot of things are happening after 2010. Shoaib Malik came back to the captain after 2010. Peter Siddle moved back to the Australian team after 2010. So this was the Team India's turn to prove once again that the last time when they failed to make the score to the triple figures, that was August 2010, almost a decade back before their World Cup win. Their last 100 plus total was 100 below 100 total was also against by chance was against New Zealand, and that was at Dambola. 5 wicket hauls for the Trent Bolt in the ODI. What an amazing performance. This is the joint most for the New Zealander alongside Richard Headley now in the series against India. Yuzvendra Chahal, 18 not out, highest individual score in this innings for Team India, would you believe? Although Kohli was not there, but Sharma ji was there, Dhawan was there, and batting icons and pillars were there. But Yuzvendra Chahal with 18 was the top scorer of the Indian team. Only once before it happened that the number 10 top scored for India in an ODI, and that was 1998. Javagal Srinath making 43 in the 180 runs innings of India. Javagal Srinath, who was at the number 10, he made 43 runs versus Pakistan. But important thing is that, will you ask me that where this match happened? Pakistan versus India, and Javagal Srinath, number 10, was the top scorer in that match. Azharuddin was the captain of that match, including Lakshman, including Saurav Ganguly, Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid. Still, Javagal was the top scorer. Match was played in Toronto. So this was the fun fact of the match point. It happened back in the 1998. New Zealand winning by 8 wickets, and both wickets taken by Bhuvi. Bhuvishna Kumar did it best, but it was too difficult to meet the best of the bestie of the Williamson's Kiwis. And now, last but not the least, I will jump before the closure towards the England versus West Indies, where fans are absolutely delighted to see back West Indies team taking the reins of the cricket like this once they used to take, and they used to take this supremacy back in the 80s and 70s by the virtue of their fast bowlers and by the virtue of their batsmen, Kali Chiran, Clive Lloyd, Viv Richards, one of the best at that time in the business. But now it was not from the top order, it was now this time from the lower order. But anyhow, the things start working for the West Indies. West Indies winning by 381 runs, and it's their third biggest win by the runs in the Test history. West Indies winning the toss and decided to bat, as I told you last time, and they made 289 runs and they were all out. Brilliant bowling from England, and who would have thought at that time that what will happen to the England? Brilliant burst from the James Anderson, and James Anderson taking the wickets, and Anderson with the 5 wickets, and the Stokes taking the 4 wickets, along with the Ben Stokes, James Anderson completing the overseas 200 wickets, and this was the first feat by the English bowler in the away series and in the away matches outside the English season by completing the 200 wickets. But who knew that West Indies will be too good to beat for the James Anderson. And then England succumbed to the 77, their lowest total outside the English conditions in the last 17 years. 5 wickets to the Cameron, and 7 batsmen could not go to the double figures. And then move next, what happens? We go to the West Indies. West Indies came to bat again, and they made 415 for the loss of 6 wickets, where they thought to declare the match. Doveridge was 116 and Holder got 202, the double century from the Holder from the tail, and they declared the match there, and both remained not out. And Jason Holder's 229 ball 200 is the second fastest test double 100 against England, after the New Zealand opener Nathan Estell's 153 onslaught against the English team in the Christchurch. So this is the biggest innings against them. Highest score by the number 8 batsman in the test cricket. If I go Wasim Akram back in the past, if you remember that famous Sheikhupura match where he had a partnership against Zimbabwe with a Saklan Mushtaq, where he was bowled on 71, but Wasim went on to make his double-handed, smashing the ball all around the Sheikhupura ground. 257 not out. Pakistan versus Zimbabwe 1996 is the biggest ever score by the number 8 in the history of test cricket. And then it was again one another Pakistani, Imtiaz Ahmed, rest in peace, Pakistan's wicket keeper, God may rest his soul in peace. 209 he made. Pakistan versus New Zealand in 1955 he achieved this feat, and now this is the Jason Holder. This is the third best by the number 8. 202 not out. West Indies versus England. West Indies declaring the innings, as I told you, at 415, and then 628 was the target which was given to the English team. 628 is the highest target ever given by the West Indies and ever they set in their test history, and their previous highest which the West Indian team has given in the test to win the match, that was 617, and that was surprisingly also against England, but that was in the Georgetown, Guyana, and that was back in the 1930, about 80 years back. And England then responded well, 85 for 0. They were brilliant 84 by the Burns and the brilliant partnership between the Kitten Jennings and 84. But I think West Indies was too hot to handle by the English team. The rest of the middle order could not contribute much, including the Stokes and the other players. The English team could not resist against the pressure of the local boys, local ground, and the pressure of Barbados. 8 wickets by Roston Chase, and Roston Chase, first ever West Indies player who has bagged 8 wickets in an innings and also scored a century in his test career. England 246 all out, and this is England joint 7th biggest loss by the runs in the history of test cricket, and loved seeing the West Indian team coming back. It was a great collapse of the English team, but it was a great entertainment seeing West Indies back in the cricket circuit, which we were missing because already they were dominating in the limited over circuit in the T20s with the Darren Sammy, with the Chris Gale, but we were not seeing their domination since long months, long drought time and the test cricket where they were not improving. But the local boys of the Barbados, lovely to see them. Holder, Cameron Roach, Dorich and the Roston Chase, they had a match at the home which they will never forget in front of the crowd. A lap of honor for the West Indian side after being greeted off the pitch by the Prime Minister of Barbados. The match took the position like this, that the Barbados Prime Minister also was in the ground to cheer once again the memories of Kari Chiran, the memories of Clive Lloyd, Jewel Gardner, Michael Holding, Sir Vivian Richards, Sir Gary Sobers and lot more. So this is the end of the match point, and when next time I will be in the match point, I will for sure I will be bringing for you the T20 results. The T20 games would have been played. Hafiz will not be a part of the first game. Pakistan would have been played all the games against South Africa till that time. And before going, I want to tell you that the Pakistan 8 outings, last 8 series T20, Pakistan while chasing. Who says Pakistan is not a good chaser? Pakistan never lost the series, and Pakistan never lost the T20 game while chasing since 2016 World Cup. So let's see how Pakistan will behave. The format is different, the boys are different, boys will be in a different shape. Sarfraz is back home, Shoaib Malik will be taking the reins. So let's see what Pakistan will do against South Africa and how the India-New Zealand things will be shaping up in the T20, and we will tell you all about, of course, in the West Indies-England second and third test later on. Till then, Dr. Adnan says you goodbye from studios. Take care and bye-bye. Before the headlines, Pakistan beaten convincingly by the South Africa in the ODI series, and India beating New Zealand in their home series. Welcome back after the break. So we will jump towards the India versus New Zealand. India versus New Zealand, 3 matches, 3 on the trot. New Zealand being beaten up. Ian Williamson versus
Fantastic effort.
Here's the man who's been largely responsible for us over the last
First World Cup, that is Australia's joy and England